Hi, I'm Gamer Alex. Today I want to talk about why PC physical copies suck. Firstly, I want to talk about the formats. You have CD, DVD, and Blu-ray. Blu-ray is pretty rare on PC. DVD is the most common you'll find for PC copies, and CDs are for mostly older games. So why am I mentioning this? Does it really matter? Well, it kind of does. Back during the PlayStation 2, it had a DVD player, meaning that companies could print their games on DVD discs. But PCs at that time more commonly had CD drives. So in turn, companies that would print their games on DVD for console had to print them on CDs, which would lead to cases where you would have one or multiple CDs. For example, this has two CDs, where on console it would be one DVD. Once the Xbox 360 hit, games on PC started really getting printed on DVDs, as DVDs were used on the Xbox 360. However, PlayStation 3 was already using Blu-ray discs, which could store more data than a DVD. So this led to a problem where some games on Xbox 360 had multiple discs, as they couldn't fit the stuff on it. And same thing happened with PC copies. You had, PC copies with one disc, but for example, this has two discs. Now, again, that isn't much of a problem with smaller games. But when the games became bigger and bigger, it became more of a problem. This is why the Xbox One has a Blu-ray drive, because frankly, there would be too many DVDs if they kept using a DVD player. However, because of digital media, Blu-rays really didn't catch on PCs. Most of the PCs you'll get now will have a DVD drive or not even an optical drive in it. This means that developers have to put their games on DVDs. But this leads to absolutely massive PC copies. I mean, we are talking about 7 installation discs, where this would be one Blu-ray disc on console. Yeah, sure, it's annoying that there's a lot of discs, but that isn't the problem with PC copies. At least, not the main problem. The problem is that because it was easy to copy and burn files onto other discs, you could make illegal copies of the games and sell them. So companies want to stop that. So they started using DRM, which is digital rights management. Very rarely you'll find early PC copies that don't have DRM. Like for instance this, which means that I can install this game on my PC, play it without the disc being the optical drive, give it to someone else, I can still play it, and they can play it at home after they install it. Companies knew that this was a problem, so they started implementing DRM that only got worse over the years. Now, something like this, I can sell, because there's no online activation, no key, nothing. It's just the game, here you go, this is all you get. Companies started putting DRM on the disc. So not only do you have to put this disc into the DVD drive in order for the game to run, it also checks to see if this is a legit copy of the disc and not one that you burn yourself. Even so, with those restrictions, I can still sell this perfectly fine. I just wouldn't be able to play it on my system unless I have the disc. Now, what I had forgot to mention is that the DRM on these discs might not even work. Games that use Secure ROM will work on modern Windows, but games that use SafeDisk will not. Windows decided to disable their driver for security reasons in later versions of Windows, so any games that use that will fail to start and you need to use a cracked version for the game to even run. But most notoriously, Starforce. They supply their own drivers, but these drivers are usually very outdated and will not work with these Windows versions. And if you don't update these drivers, they can break your machine. That's right, if you install a game with Starforce DRM and it installs their driver without updating it, your machine may be corrupted. People have lost their information, had to do system restores, had to rename their boot drives. It's horror stories I've heard from this DRM. And this is already why DRM has a bad rap. Now this isn't really much different. You still have the on-disk DRM, but they also give you a key to activate when you're installing the game. It's just another level of protection. But this key doesn't become null or void when you use it. You can sell this and not have a problem. Someone who picks this up can use this, put the key right in, and it'll be all fine. But then it starts to get ugly. And it first started with games for Windows Live. Now these games are still sellable when they're used. And this is because of the policy they used. You still got your on-disk DRM, but now you are forced to use this service, Games for Windows Live. And the key functions as it would, like, let's say, on this EA copy, where you have to put in the key to activate it. But what's different here is that the key does not get linked to your account. So this key doesn't get linked to my Games for Windows Live account, meaning that it's only really an activation key. So I can sell this to someone and it would work perfectly fine for them. But once Games for Windows Live died out, companies moved to DRM like Steam, or made their own like Uplay and Origin. This is when PC physical copies went completely downhill. With this, it doesn't have any onboard DRM. You don't have to put the disk in the optical drive for the game to run. But there's a caveat. The key that they give you now is an activation key that links to your Origin account, meaning that once you link the key, you can no longer sell this. All this becomes is really an offline installer. So now you no longer really own this. It's almost like owning a digital version of the game, especially since after you put in the key, you can just download this game without even using the disk. And this causes a problem because whether you agree with people being able to sell their copies or whatever, it makes it hard to get these games, especially if it's a limited edition that was only printed on discs. Like I bought this game used, but the problem was the key was already registered, so I can't get my limited edition content. Actually, I can't even play the game at all, even though I have the disc, because the key is registered to someone else. Even though their account is deactivated, the key is still null and void. And this isn't just a problem with EA games. Even games that use Steam, like for example Spec Ops: The Line, have the same issue. Once you activate your key, this is just useless. You do have other cases, like for example in this, where Rockstar doesn't really have their own client like Steam, so you still have to install it from these discs, but you need to put in your key and link your account. So it's no better either. This means that I can't sell this, can't sell this, can't sell this, 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 and this. So unless you get a new copy, or somehow find a used copy that the key wasn't used, you're out of luck. Even worse is that a lot of these copies now, for newer games, don't even have a disc. Imagine you get your brand new game and you open it up, come to find out that there is a paper disc with a code to download the game. There's not even a disc. There's not even an offline installer in that case. It's just like a digital copy. And that's when it gets even worse. These copies you can't return. For example, let's say you got this from the store. You can't return it to the store because now your key is linked to your account and they can't like remove and deactivate that key to reactivate it again. It's locked to your account. And Steam can't refund you the money because you didn't buy it from Steam and it's a physical copy. So not only can you not sell these, but you can't even return them if you don't like them. This is all an attempt to stop you from having ownership of your game. I can sell this. I can return this. I have the right to own this. But I don't have the right to own this. Or this. Or any of those ones that uses the account system like Steam or Uplay or Origin. And sure, we were moving to a digital age anyways when it comes to PC. But having these physical copies be absolutely useless is even more reason why people don't buy physical copies on PC. It's such a shame too, because I like my physical copies. That's why I'm still grabbing physical copies on consoles, because there's some times where I'll play a game, I maybe like it, but I want to sell it after, and I should have the right as an owner of the copy of the game to sell it. And I know some people are going to disagree on me, and this is this whole video is about really ownership and how you have none when you buy a new physical PC copy. But in the end of the day, even though you didn't make this game, and you have no rights to the name or the code or the source code or whatever, you do have the right to this copy of the game, and you have the right to do with it. Essentially, physical copies on PC are dead, and we can thank the companies for not giving us that ownership and essentially killing the physical copy off on PC. This has been Gamer Alex. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you have a nice day.